Hello and welcome to Choose CHQ, Live CHQ, a monthly program brought to you by the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency and the Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth. I'm your host, Jason Sample, with the CCIDA and the Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth. And every month we try to focus on economic development projects and business development projects that are occurring in Chautauqua County to help give our residents and the community a general feel for what's happening in our area. With that being said, on today's program, we're going to focus on business development, one of the key aspects of the pillars of economic development here in Chautauqua County. We are talking with a business that will soon be opening up in Chautauqua County, and more specifically in the greater Jamestown area. Joining us today is Lee Gilmore, General Manager of Electrovaya Jamestown. Lee, thanks for taking time out and talking with us today.
Appreciate it. Anytime I get a chance to introduce Electrovaya to Jamestown, I'll take it.
So we wanted to talk about Electrovaya, give folks an idea of where it's currently at and the timeline for when it will be ramping up production. This is a very exciting project. It's been in the works now for the past 4 years. You've been involved for the past 3 years. We'll talk more specifically about the business as well as what it will be doing here in Chautauqua County. But maybe before we do that, can you talk a little bit about yourself, including where you're from, any previous work experience, and how you came to be connected with Electrovaya?
So I'm a lifelong Chautauqua County resident. Spent pretty much my entire career working in the Jamestown area. Live in Mayville now with my wife and 3 dogs. We have 3 adult children. 2 are out of the house. One's currently still living at home. I worked for a company called MD Electronics, which was in the building that Electrovaya currently occupies. Just like everyone else, back in 2022, I saw that the building was purchased by Electrovaya, so I reached out, told them I was interested. At the time, I was working for a company in Erie. So I was past Erie, but I was driving an hour and 15 minutes each way every day. So I saw the opportunity, reached out to them. A few months later, I got a call, and we started talking, and ended up where I am today.
And where you're at today, specifically, it's in the Mason Industrial Park, located just to the east of Jamestown in the town of Ellicott.
Yep, correct. Most people know the building is the old Accurite building. Accurite built the building back in the mid to late 80s. It's gone through 3 different phases of construction. Accurite was bought by a company called Heidenhain. Heidenhain owned a company called MD Electronics, which was the company that I ended up working for about 6 to 7 years.
Got it. So during the past 3.5 years, well, we should back it up. In the fall of 2022, Electrovaya announced that they would be opening a plant in the Jamestown area. Here we are now, as of this recording, in the spring of 2026. So 3.5 years later, here we are. During the past 3.5 years, we've learned a lot about the company and its plans for the West Ellicott location. Before we get to where things currently are at with Jamestown, remind us about what Electrovaya does, though. What exactly is its main focus when it comes to manufacturing and production?
So Electrovaya is a ion lithium battery technology company. We've been in business for about 30 years now. So we started, in the R&D phases when ion lithium was first starting to be introduced into battery technology. We have been in multiple different applications. One of the ones that I like to talk about, especially now with the space ship getting launched, we were in spacesuits. So the spacesuits that the astronauts would go out of the shuttle and do their walks, they had to be powered by something. So Electrovaya had packs that powered those batteries. We were in the very first applications of the tablets. We were in the Microsoft Scribbler, which was introduced probably almost 20 years ago. We have been in automotive. We supplied batteries to a German OEM that built like a 2-seater smart car. And then about 8-9 years ago, we decided that we were going to focus on the material handling industry. So as you can see here, forklifts, very large batteries that need to be charged quickly, multiple times a day, and have a life cycle that will hopefully outlast the vehicles that they're put in.
Got it. So why was Mason Park in Chautauqua County selected specifically? We should back it up, and I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but Electrovaya is a Canadian-based company.
Yes, yes.
What made them decide to get a foothold here in New York State and Chautauqua County?
So we decided that we were going to reborder all of our cell production. Currently right now, and in the past, all of our cells, which are the first building blocks of a large battery pack, are produced in China. Our CEO, Dr. Raj Dasgupta, he decided that he was going to move that production to North America. And at the time that we made that decision to move the production to North America, we needed to find somewhere to produce the cells. We looked at multiple different options, having it up in Canada, building onto our existing building, building a new building, and One Precision Way was just found. The building was as close to turnkey as you can get, because both Heidenhain and MD Electronics were electronic manufacturing companies. So we found the building, they did the tour, and bought it quite quickly after that with the help of the CCIDA. It's close to headquarters. We are 2.5, 3 hours door to door from Jamestown to Mississauga. We are in a 10-hour range of most of our customers here in Jamestown. In the community, I mean, the partners that we've aligned with here in Jamestown made it possible for us to move here.
Right on. We're going to talk more about those partners a little bit, maybe what the IDA has provided in support for this project.
Yeah.
But before we go any further, let's take a break. Again, we're talking with Lee Gilmore, who is the plant manager here in Jamestown for Electrovaya. Soon to be opening full production here by the end of this year, if I'm not mistaken. We'll talk more about the timeline in just a moment. But again, you're listening to, or rather watching, Choose CHQ, Live CHQ, and we have more to come. Stick around. And welcome back to Choose CHQ, Live CHQ. Again, I'm Jason Sample, your host, and on this month's program, we're talking with Lee Gilmore from Electrovaya here in Jamestown. Going to be talking more about what the plant has in store. And Lee, again, thanks for taking time out and talking with us and giving our viewers an update on how things are going with Electrovaya. Maybe a good place to begin this segment of the program is, when will the plant be fully operational? I know we talked about how Electrovaya decided to open in Jamestown, but where are we at currently in terms of the timeline of it being fully operational and being all systems a go?
Yeah, so a lot of things happening currently right now. We are in our demolition phase, almost done with that. So we the building was as turnkey as you could find. We did have to do some renovations. So we're doing the demolition right now. We're going to be installing a 85,000 square foot dry room. So construction will be starting on that. And then once our production equipment starts arriving, the equipment that's going to go inside that dry room, we'll start hiring probably right around the June, July timeframe on operator level. We'll probably end the year around 50 to 75 employees. Fully operational, we're looking at mid-2027. But we will be producing cells, we'll be producing modules, and we'll be producing full battery packs probably within the next 6 months.
So we're a little more than a year away from full operation. You're ramping things up and getting things. And you already have it was a skeleton crew, literally. I think you and your dog at one point were the only two people within the whole entire facility, and it's a very large facility. Yeah. But now you're starting to get a little bit more members of your team, the upper management in there, right? Yeah,
we are. So we're a crew of 6 right now. We're in the process of bringing in 3 to 4 engineer level employees. A couple are going to be moving from Michigan, and then a couple will quite likely be local. But yeah, we'll be at probably right around 10 in the next month or 2.
Got it. So once you're fully operational, what exactly will you be making? How much of it will you be making, maybe on a monthly or even an annual basis in terms of your output? Is it all going to be one type of battery, or is there going to be a variety of them? So
there's multiple different packs, battery packs, and modules. But there'll be one cell that we're making. It's actually right here behind me on my right-hand side. It's a pouch cell. So Electrovaya, we build just pouch cells. Fully operational, we'll be building about 1 million cells per shift per year. And each shift will have about 100 people, so 300 total employees, hopefully by the end of 2027, producing about 3 million cells per year. Those cells will go into, like we said, different variations of our module and then our pack as well. So we base everything on amp hours as well. So right now, the factory is a 300 amp hour facility. When we get to that gigawatt factory, we'll actually have to build onto the factory and make the factory bigger. So it'll probably be just about 3 times the size it currently is now.
So it sounds like there's going to be an awful lot of output coming out of the plant once it's fully operational. I mean, 3 million components a year is a huge number. How big are these to begin with? I mean, we see the picture, but I mean, is it like the size of a cell phone or larger,
so
smaller?
Probably the size of the smaller like iPad.
Okay.
And they can range in size. I think we have 3 or 4 different sizes, but all right around the size of a small iPad.
And so the product itself, from what I understand, it goes through rigorous testing. It does, obviously, this is going to be used by equipment used in manufacturing forklifts, and they need to have durability.
Yep.
They get beat up a lot, they get used a lot, so these aren't something that's just going to stop in operation after 6 months, right? I mean, these have a huge lifespan.
Yeah, so one of the things I love to brag about Electrovaya, we are the only company in the world that will be building cells the way that we build cells. Our separator is it's Electrovaya owned technology, and it's the only separator in the world that is a fully ceramic separator. Most separators are built of a polymer. They could have a ceramic coating on them, but Electrovaya, the only fully ceramic separator in the world. And what that does is that allows you to apply more heat to the separator, or to the battery. Allows you to charge it quicker, gives it a longer life cycle as well. So once you charge and discharge that battery multiple times, that polymer separator will start to shrink. That's why you lose life in your batteries. That's why your cell phone doesn't work after a couple of years and you have to charge it a couple of times a day. Our separator does not shrink, so it doesn't move. The lifespan of the cells and the packs, if you're running a factory and you're charging these forklifts twice a day, we will be able to cycle about 14,000 times before you see any type of degradation. So at 2 cycles a day, that's roughly 20 years of life cycle for our packs.
So, oftentimes when you talk about lithium batteries, there's the issue of safety as well. And, there's millions upon millions upon millions of batteries out there, but nobody wants to see a video of just a battery doing nothing. Yeah. It's always, that one instance when a bicycle, for example, catches fire or whatever. But does that help add to the safety features of these batteries as well with that, what you just explained?
The same technology. So that separator does not move at all. So it doesn't allow your negatively charged ions and your positively charged ions to come into contact. A lot of times that's where your thermal runaway will come from. The explosions and the fire is because your separator isn't what it was when you first bought the battery or bought the device. That's what really creates those thermal runaways. So without any type of shrinkage or life cycle loss, it creates that safety factor as well.
We've been talking about Electrovaya, like I said, since the fall of 2022. Has any of the plans changed from the company headquarters in Mississauga, Canada, to today in terms of what they expected to do utilize this plant for, to what it is now planned to be used for?
So overall plans have not changed. The plant was bought to reborder all that cell production from China. It still remains the plans today. All the cells that we produce in Jamestown will be used for production in Jamestown, but they'll also be exported to our facility in Canada, where we'll use all those cells and modules in Canada to build battery packs as well. Just with tariffs and the economy the way it is right now, it's slowed us down a little bit. It hasn't stopped us, hasn't changed it, but it has slowed us down a little bit. We had planned to start building packs in Jamestown almost about a year ago. We had planned to start that production. Just due to those tariff charges, it wasn't financially responsible for us to start bringing in stuff from China. So we delayed the project a little bit, but the overall plan has not changed.
And so obviously getting some of the components and parts shipped in, the international trade has a role to play in that. How about when it comes to actually manufacturing and shipping out? You mentioned Jamestown strategically located because you're within 10 hours of most of your customer base, but is there a chance for a lot of these products to go international as well, or is that the inevitable goal?
So absolutely. Right now we've got a couple Asian market customers. We have been working with some companies out of Europe, China, Japan, and most of Asia. So there is a huge opportunity to export out of Jamestown as well. Yeah.
Right on. Let's talk more about some of the support that you received here in just a moment, but we're going to take another break. Again, we're talking with Lee Gilmore, who is the plant manager of Electrovaya here in Jamestown, talking about ramping up production and the timeline for when things will open. In just a moment, we're going to talk more about some of the assistance he received and how he was able to help make Electrovaya a go here in Chautauqua County. So stick around, more to come right here on Choose CHQ, Live CHQ. Welcome back to Choose CHQ, Live CHQ. Again, I'm your host, Jason Sample, and on today's program, we're talking with Lee Gilmore from Electrovaya, talking about the plant here in Jamestown. And Lee, when it comes to getting a project of this magnitude off the ground, there's a lot of local and regional support that comes into play. Who are some of the key players locally that help to make the project a reality and who've also assisted in helping to keep things moving forward through this 3.5-year-long timeline?
Yeah, so right from the beginning, the IDA, of course, Mark, Rich, before he decided to step away and retire.
Mark Geis and Rich Dixon,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Our CEO and former CFO, respectively.
Yep, absolutely. They stepped in right away, helped the process from the beginning. Ellen
DeTanto from the Board of Public Utilities.
Ellen has been great. The Jamestown BPU, helping secure the low-cost energy that we receive right now from the Buffalo Hydro plant. That was a huge factor in us deciding to move to Jamestown as well. And then, just the town of Ellicott. Anyone that I've come in contact with has been behind this project, especially after we had two major manufacturing facilities in that building for so long and lost them. The building sat empty. So anyone that we've needed help from, Empire State Development, New Energy New York, has been a huge help as well. So we ask for help, and people are willing to lend a hand.
Right, that's one of the key things the IDA is known for, is providing incentives and support, and not just your pilot programs or low interest loans.
Yeah.
But also just technical support and getting you connected with the right people. I think
Absolutely.
that's something that happened in this project along with a variety of other projects. Talking with Sean Harrico, who's the general manager of Cummins Engine Plant here in Jamestown, he was really proud of the fact that when you have a shop or a manufacturing plant in Chautauqua County, you don't shut down because of natural disasters. You don't see a lot of the issues that could come into play down south. You've been working in the Jamestown region for a long time, and also in Erie.
Yeah.
What does it mean when you have reliable energy, but also infrastructure taken care of and all that stuff? Does that provide the assurance of the folks in Mississauga that this is a safe place to do business?
It does. I've experienced that, especially in this building in the past. We had multiple sites. When I worked for MD Electronics, we had multiple sites throughout the world. We had a disaster happen in our facility in Kotyšov, Czech Republic. And we were able to take that production and shift it over to Jamestown. We had to work a few more extra hours, make up for it. But the reliability of being able to walk in every morning, turn on those lights, and just go at it has been instrumental, I think, and it will be instrumental for us here in Jamestown. Our facility in Mississauga is it's about half the size of the facility here in Jamestown. So it's allowed us to expand our customer portfolio. It's allowed us to accept more offers in the future. So I think having Jamestown is going to be very beneficial to our Canadian site and Jamestown alone.
So early in our conversation, you had mentioned the current staff, and I think you said about 10 people, perhaps?
We will be in about a month or two. Yeah.
But you want to, by the end of this year, by the end of 2026, get it up to about 50 people or so.
Yep.
What do residents or prospective employees need to know if they want to get connected with Electrovaya?
So I'd suggest kind of doing the same thing that I did. Reach out to us via our website. Any jobs or postings that we will have, we will put on Indeed. So I just recommend searching for Electrovaya Jamestown on Indeed. Right now we have, I think, a couple positions posted up there for engineering level. Assembly positions, assembly technician positions will probably be coming the next few months. I might regret it, but always stop by the facility. Come and drop in, especially for the folks that worked in that building in the past. With all the demolition happening right now, the construction, the building looks the same, but it's different. So, I invite people back to the building, come check us out. We will always accept resumes, can be dropped off up front. Just keep an eye on Indeed, keep an eye on our website.
Chautauqua County has a great workforce. This is my final question, but obviously you may have to recruit from outside of the area for a few key positions that residents might not be able to fill. What's your pitch for trying to sell Chautauqua County on that prospective employee who is not currently in Chautauqua County or know anything about it?
Yeah. So being a lifelong Chautauqua County resident, you kind of take things for granted. The summer here and having Chautauqua Lake in our back doorstep. Even the winters, I think, sometimes are taken for granted. Being able to go skiing within a 30-minute drive, being able to jump on a snowmobile when there's, of course, enough snow, and just enjoying the outdoors. I mean, summer and winter, the seasons here are just amazing. I think the people, too. Jamestown is a bigger city for our area, but it still has that very small town feel to it. The people here are great. They're amazing. They're welcoming. So I'd recommend it to anyone.
All right, we're going to have you be the next spokesman for Live CHQ.
There you go.
All right, so thanks a lot, Lee. We really appreciate it. We're all out of time. It goes that quickly here. So I want to thank Lee Gilmore again, the plant manager for Electrovaya, for stopping by and talking with us on this month's episode. We'll have more economic development and business development coming in future episodes. But in the meantime, again, Lee, thank you so much for taking time out and talking with us.
Thank you.
Go online and do a search for Electrovaya if you want to learn more about the company and how to get connected with it. In the meantime, to get connected with us, simply go to choosechq.com. It's that easy. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching another episode of Choose CHQ, Live CHQ, right here on CCS TV.